Okay, I need to talk about this because it's genuinely driving me crazy. I just bought an iced oat milk mocha, $6. The barista interacted with me for exactly, I don't know, 12 seconds, and then, the swivel. The swivel, yes. They spin that little iPad around, and suddenly I'm staring at these giant glowing buttons demanding 20, 25, or even 30% for a drink they haven't even made yet. And the worst part is, I mean, you know what I did.
You panicked and hit 20.
I panicked. The line behind me is staring, the barista is looking right at me, and I just didn't want to look cheap, so I just smashed the 20% button. And now I'm sitting here with a $7 coffee, and honestly, I just feel gross. Like I feel completely manipulated by a screen.
Well, you should feel manipulated because you literally just fell victim to the greatest psychological shakedown in modern personal finance.
A shakedown. Okay, a little dramatic, but yeah, fair.
Seriously, it is. Look, in the finance world, we talk endlessly about big-ticket items, right? Mortgage rates, the stock market. But as a culture, we are bleeding family wealth through these tiny, guilt-driven microtransactions.
Tip inflation, which is exactly what we're breaking down today, because it used to be a gratuity for, high-touch hospitality. Now it's become this mandatory hidden tax on literally almost every transaction we make.
Exactly. And today, we are going to calculate exactly how much this tip creep is secretly costing your household every single year. And then we're going to build a strategic, foolproof tipping framework so you can protect your family budget
without looking like a total jerk at the counter, because clearly I desperately need this framework.
Right. I'm Frank, by the way.
And I'm Lynn. Welcome to Talk and Wonder. We create easy-to-understand whiteboard animations covering family finance, investing, passive income, and debt management. Our goal is to break down complex financial topics, help you avoid traps, and build wealth together. If you want to secure your family's future, you are exactly in the right place. But seriously, the iPad thing, how did we even get here? Because I feel like pre-2019, if I got a coffee, I just physically took a dollar bill out of my wallet or dropped a quarter in a glass jar. It was my choice.
Right. It was an opt-in system. You had to make the active choice to reach for cash. But then, 2020 happened.
The pandemic tips. I remember that.
We all do. During the height of the pandemic, tipping became, like an act of solidarity. Essential workers were risking their health to hand us our takeout bags. So giving a 25 or 30% tip wasn't really about the service anymore.
It was a life raft. I mean, we were tipping generously because we wanted our favorite local bakery to survive, It felt like community support.
Exactly. It was a beautiful moment. But as the pandemic subsided, something strange happened.
Let me guess. The screens didn't go away?
Not only did they not go away, they multiplied because corporate America realized something brilliant and honestly pretty insidious. They realized we were conditioned. Instead of raising wages to meet inflation, many businesses they shifted the burden of employee compensation directly onto your conscience.
Yes, and we need to talk about who we are actually tipping, because there's this massive myth, and I believed this for so long, that every single worker behind a counter is making like $2 an hour.
Right, the tipped minimum wage illusion.
Exactly. Like, yes, waitstaff and bartenders, absolutely. But now I'm prompted to tip at self-checkout kiosks or fast casual places where employees are making the state-mandated minimum wage. So when I hit that 20% on the iPad,
you aren't supporting a waiter's livelihood. You are, actually, let's call it what it is. You are subsidizing a corporation's payroll.
Okay, I need a second. Subsidizing their payroll? That makes me so mad. They get to advertise a $5 latte, look super competitive, and then guilt me into paying the extra $2 to cover their labor costs.
That is exactly how it works, and it's fueled by these sleek cloud-based software systems, Square, Toast, Clover. They use a behavioral economics trick called anchoring.
Anchoring, like setting the baseline?
Precisely. When the screen presents options of 20, 25, and 30%, your brain anchors to those high numbers. Suddenly, leaving 15% feels incredibly cheap, and clicking no tip.
Requires breaking a social norm. You have to stand there and make this aggressive, confrontational choice. But it's not just the guilt, Frank. Honestly, half the time I tip on delivery apps, it's straight up fear.
Fear? Wait, you mean like
Service retaliation? Think about it. In the old days, a tip was a reward after you got good service. Now you have to tip before you even get your food. So my brain immediately goes, if I hit 0, are they going to leave my pizza in the rain? Are they going to spit in my drink?
Okay, that's actually fair. When you're asked to tip first, it stops being a gratuity. It starts functioning as a bribe, an extortion fee for baseline human decency.
Exactly. And that fear completely destroys my ability to budget. I'm making financial decisions based on a hypothetical threat of cold French fries.
Which sounds ridiculous when you say it out loud, but the friction of saying no is higher than the cost of saying yes. We literally pay a premium to avoid 3 seconds of social discomfort. We think, oh, it's just $1 or $2, what's the harm? But if you ignore the cumulative effect of these microtransactions on a family budget, it turns into a mountain of lost wealth. Let's just run the numbers, because most people stop here and assume, oh, it's just a few dollars.
Which is exactly what I tell myself. It's just $2, Lynn. Let it go.
Right, but let's look at a standard family budget. Let's take your coffee habit.
I knew I was going to get attacked today.
Not attacked, just analyzed. Pre-2019, you might drop a quarter in the jar. Now that iced oat milk mocha is $5.50 and the iPad demands a 20% minimum. You panic tip $1.10, do that 4 times a week? That's about $230 a year.
Okay, $230. Annoying, but, it won't bankrupt us.
True, but then add the fast casual lunches. Twice a week, we grab a $15 salad at a counter. We hit the lowest preset, 15%, which is $2.25. That's another $234 a year. We are already at nearly $500 annually, just on coffee and lunch counters.
And that doesn't even include the weird ones, like, what about the airport?
Oh, the non-traditional tipping, yes. The self-checkout kiosk that did literally none of the work. You get flustered, hit $3 just to make the screen go away. Do that twice a month, another $72. Add in the inflated delivery app fees where we tip an extra $4. When you add it all up,
How bad is it?
it is nearly $1,000 a year, slipping out of the bank account purely due to societal guilt and clever software design.
$1,000, Frank? That's a whole family vacation. Or like 2 car payments.
Exactly. But honestly, the real tragedy isn't the $1,000.
Oh, God, here comes the CFO.
You know it. Look, in personal finance, $1 spent today is literally stealing from your future self, is the opportunity cost. If we took that roughly $1,000 every single year and instead of handing it over to an iPad, we invested it in a standard index fund returning, say, 7%?
Okay, hit me with the math.
In 10 years, that tip creep would be worth $14,000. In 20 years, it's $41,000. And by the time we retire, in 30 years,
Wait, Frank, stop.
that guilt tipping grows into $95,858.
Okay, I need a second. Are you serious right now?
I'm literally looking at the spreadsheet. Nearly $100,000 of future wealth gone.
Almost $100,000? We are burning $100,000 of our retirement to pad the profit margins of a salad chain?
Yep, you are paying for a corporation's inability to pay a living wage with our family's retirement security, which is why you cannot out-earn a leaky budget. You could be negotiating your salary, clipping coupons, but if you're tossing away $100,000 on guilt trips,
You're just running in place. Wow. Okay, I am officially radicalized. We need boundaries, like strict rules, because I cannot trust myself when that screen spins around.
All right, if we want to stop bleeding cash, we need a system, a strict,
unshakable set of rules that we agree on at home, so that when the screen spins, you don't even have to think.
Yes, just tell me what to do.
Welcome to the family tipping matrix. We are dividing the world into 3 strict tiers. Let's start with Tier 1, the non-negotiables.
Okay, the people who actually rely on it.
Exactly. These are the legacy industries where workers are historically paid a sub-minimum tipped wage, or where the service is highly personalized. So, sit-down restaurant servers, bartenders, and delivery drivers who use their own cars and gas.
Right, the people literally bringing the food to our table or our front door.
Yes, for them, 20% is the baseline. And this also includes hairdressers, barbers, nail techs, because they are providing time-intensive physical labor. My rule for Tier 1 is if you cannot afford to tip 20%,
You cannot afford the service. Period. I completely agree with that. Like when we plan a date night, the tip is just part of the cost of the meal. It's not an optional bonus.
Exactly. By being generous where it matters, you earn the right to be strict where it doesn't.
Oh, I like that. Generous where it matters. Okay, but what about the danger zone? The coffee shops, the sandwich counters, because that's where I panic.
Welcome to Tier 2, the gray area. Historically, this was the keep the change zone. These workers are generally paid a standard hourly wage, not a tipped wage.
So in this zone, the rule is 0 to 10%?
Basically, yes. It depends on the effort. Look, if I order a complex, customized drink that takes, 3 minutes to build, dropping $1 in the jar is a nice gesture.
But if I just order a black drip coffee and someone simply turns a spigot on an urn and hands me a paper cup,
The tip is 0. You are not required to tip for someone turning a spigot.
thank you. Okay, what about takeout? Like if we drive to that Thai place down the street and I literally just walk in and grab the bag off the counter.
The kitchen staff is already being paid an hourly rate. Now, if it's a massive 5-bag catering order, sure, maybe a 5% tip makes sense. But for our standard Tuesday night pad thai, 0 is completely acceptable.
Okay, so in the gray area, we are tipping for above and beyond service, not for the baseline job description, which means we have to start using the custom tip button.
Yes, you use the custom button and you put in $1 rather than being bullied into a 20% button on a $15 sandwich.
That makes so much sense. I'm taking back control of the transaction.
You are the boss of your budget, not the iPad software. But look, even with the custom button, there is still Tier 3, and this is where we have to draw a hard line in the sand. Because if you hit anything other than 0,
I am literally donating our retirement to a robot.
Exactly. Welcome to Tier 3, the hard no zone. And first on the list, self-checkout kiosks.
Okay, I'm sorry, but if I am scanning my own barcodes and bagging my own groceries, there is 0 human service to tip.
Right. Tipping a machine it's essentially giving a tax-free donation to a multi-billion-dollar corporation's bottom line. Always hit 0.
What about retail? Because I went to a boutique the other day, I bought a candle, and the iPad spun around. For a candle.
You are paying for a product, not a service. Do not let a glowing screen convince you otherwise. And the same goes for drive-thrus. Look, fast food workers absolutely deserve living wages, but that is the responsibility of the corporation, not your discretionary budget.
Yes. Oh, and we have to talk about the sneaky receipt fees.
Don't even get me started. The wellness fee or the mandatory 18% service fee.
Because if a restaurant already mandates a fee to pay their staff, my tipping obligation drops to 0, right? I am not double tipping.
You are not double tipping. Hitting no tip in Tier 3 doesn't make you a bad person, Len. It makes you financially literate. You are drawing a boundary against corporate overreach.
Okay, but Frank, having this framework is great in theory, but when I'm actually standing there and the social anxiety kicks in at the counter, it's hard. Like, my brain just short circuits.
Which is why we need tactical moves to survive the swivel. Move number 1, the custom default. When the screen flips, before you even read the percentages, immediately hit the custom tip button.
Oh, because it breaks the anchor.
Exactly. It breaks the psychological anchor of those massive preset boxes. Once you're on the custom screen, your rational brain takes over. You can type 0 or $1 without feeling like you clicked the giant I'm cheap button.
I love
love that. I actually have a trick too. I call it, well, the cash decouple.
Oh, explain that.
If I want to tip a barista, but I hate the iPad inflation, I'll pay with my card, hit no tip on the screen, and then just drop a physical dollar bill in the jar.
That is brilliant because it ensures the money goes directly to the staff, no credit card fees, and it completely frees you from the percentage math.
Exactly. And if you really just need to hit zero, use the verbal acknowledge. I do this all the time now.
Let's hear it.
You look the worker in the eye, you smile, and you say, "Thank you so much. I really appreciate it."
While simultaneously hitting no tip.
Yes, you are recognizing their humanity and being polite without subsidizing their employer's payroll.
That's the secret. You are in charge of your money. No one is going to care about our family's financial stability more than us. You have the permission to opt out. Tip the people who earn it. Ignore the screens that demand it.
Protect the wallet. I am so ready for this. But honestly, I have to know, what is the most ridiculous place you guys have been asked to tip recently?
Seriously, let us know in the comments. Was it a self-checkout, a doctor's office?
A car wash? Let's do a peer review of these businesses and see just how far this tip creep has actually gone. Your data helps everyone in this community.